each, we made an assessment. Given the information available at the time, did we think that a reasonably competent person would have made the same decision? We also looked for dissenting views in the decision-making process. The existence of contrary views is not proof that a decision is wrong. Many decisions have contrary views. But if there were no contrary views at the time, we excluded the decision from our rapidly expanding collection. We quickly found there are an awful lot of bad decisions out there. Indeed, in unfamiliar circumstances, such as businesses entering new markets or politicians coping with new challenges, flawed decisions abound. We did not find it hard to identify 83 of them. We are not claiming that we have a unique ability to spot flawed decisions. Indeed, some of the decisions we examine may be considered by others as wise choices that turned out badly. Fortunately, our argument does not depend on whether our examples are correctly categorized. Our understanding of why flawed decisions are so common comes from the work that has been done by neuroscientists and decision scientists to understand how the brain works when faced with a set of circumstances that require a decision. Flaws of the jungle. So, what did we find in our quest to understand why capable people make errors of judgment? The answers were simpler and more powerful than we were expecting. Two factors are at play in a flawed decision: an individual or group of individuals who have made an error of judgment, and a decision process that fails to correct the error. Both have to be present to produce a bad decision. This was an important realization. A bad decision starts with at least one influential person making an error of judgment. But normally, the decision process will save the day. Facts will be brought to the table that challenge the flawed thinking, or other people with different views will influence the outcome. So, the second factor that contributes to a bad decision is the way the decision is managed. For whatever reason, as the decision is being discussed, the erroneous views are not exposed and corrected. As a result, we began to focus our research on how our brains make decisions. Part 1 describes how the brain has been wonderfully designed for decision-making, but also how it can be tricked into false judgments. Part 2 describes the 4 conditions under which flawed thinking is most likely to happen. We call these red flag conditions because they provide a warning that when these conditions exist, even an experienced decision-maker may get it wrong. Complex decisions involving interpretation and judgment are difficult to get right. You need debate, but how do you know when you or the other party is arguing from a biased position? You need consensus, but how do you know when your consensus is really groupthink? What is needed is a diagnostic for knowing when the risk of being wrong is at its highest, when the decision-makers need to step back and think again. Our red flag conditions are a simple, but not simplistic, tool to help decision-makers know when to pause for breath, when you need to take special steps to make sure that a decision does not go off the rails. Part 3 describes what you can do about it. Unlike other writers in this increasingly popular field, we believe that it is impractical for us to correct our own mental processes. The brain's way of working makes this solution particularly difficult. Hence, when there are red flag conditions, we recommend safeguards that are external to the individual. We describe 4 types of safeguard. Each helps to strengthen the decision process so that the influence of distorted thinking is diluted or challenged. Safeguards reduce the risk that red flag conditions will lead to a bad decision. They act as a counterweight. Choosing safeguards is not mechanical. There is no direct link between a particular red flag condition and a particular safeguard. Instead, safeguards need to be chosen not only with an understanding of the red flag conditions, but also with knowledge of the people and the organization, as well as a healthy skepticism of too much bureaucracy. Our red flags and safeguards framework not only helps defend against bad decisions, it also helps cut back on bureaucracy. In many organizations, governance processes and decision rules have been developed with the intention of defending the organization against all possible errors in decision-making. Each major blunder leads to additional processes and rules that are applied to all